What's going on YouTube? Earth Power here with CVH,
How's it going, everybody?
and we are here for the first match in the top 16 of the Season 2 bracket tournament, trying to find the best deck. Again, we have Phal versus Waterfire Rush.
We do. The first seed of the bracket, the Phal Forbos Control, and the Waterfire Rush that took down the play-in bracket, beating Wave Strikers and Lightfire Nature Jungle to be here up against the other best decks in the meta.
Yeah. Waterfire absolutely tearing through the play-in tournament. I don't want to say unexpectedly, but after playing, those two rounds with Waterfire and the changes that you and to some degree not me made to the deck, it feels really strong. It just feels like a really, really strong rush slash tempo deck, and I like the way it's playing, and we'll see how it does up against Control. Now moving into, we teched a lot of these control decks for these tempo and rush decks since we had a lot more of them in this bracket this time around. So it'll be interesting to see how Phal does this first true test against a tempo slash aggro deck, something it didn't really get to play against in season 1.
Yeah, so without further ado, let's jump on in and get into the first match of the real Season 2
Absolutely.
bracket.
Absolutely. I myself piloting the Force Foul Control CVH, taking a crack at Waterfire Rush. I don't believe you played it in the play-in. If
I did
remember correctly.
actually play it
Did you?
against Wave Strikers.
That was you? Okay, I couldn't
Yeah.
remember if Spencer was piloting that or not.
No.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
but this is kind of like an interesting, role reversal for the two of us. Traditionally, I've been more of the control player, and you're almost always on the aggro strats like Fire Nature Rush and Fire Water
Yeah,
Rush and the like.
yeah. I tend to like to be behind those decks. I like the more play fast and try to get them. Try to get them.
That didn't rhyme at
But yeah,
all.
no, not at all. I didn't know where I was going. You ever just start a sentence and just hope it gets you there? Yeah,
Everyone in the
maniacal scout.
comments knows it's play fast and eat Peach. Team
There it
Peach.
is.
There you go.
Yeah, you glitched out there for a minute, I think.
Yep.
So that
No,
worked
no, no.
out.
That I did that on purpose.
Okay, perfect. Love to hear it,
Yeah.
man.
We are
But yeah,
shuffling.
no,
Yeah. What am I doing? Am I looking at a deck list over there? I think so.
I think we're pulling up the list. Yeah. This becomes a common theme throughout this tournament, so get ready for
Yep.
that over the course of the next few weeks as we dive more into top 16. But we
Yeah, I've
constantly have to
mentioned
pull up these
this.
lists.
But
Yeah,
it bears repeating. Unlike season one, even some of these decks, especially the updated decks like the Force Foul Control, we updated the decks. We talked about them a good bit, but we literally didn't play test matches with a lot of these before we
no,
played them. So for many of these decks, it is our very first match with them or against them. In this case, for me on Firewater Rush playing against the new Foul. So I really wanted to make sure I knew the removal ratios, the shield trigger ratios,
yeah.
to know what it makes
We
sense to play
we
around.
we had a long preseason coming into season 1, which gave us a lot of time to just get comfortable with the game again, and that's why we brought a lot of those decks from season 1 were just the decks we were playing the months prior. This time around, the turnaround was less than a month from building the decks to actually getting together to play them. So yeah, very much like CVH said, this is our first second time playing with these decks, if that.
Yep.
Um,
So I missed my one drop, but I do have Snip Striker Bull Razor on two. Carl has the ideal turn two Belix to counter it.
yep.
Bull Razor obviously weaker than Ganta. It will just trade with this Belix, but I think it's a trade that I'm happy to take if I don't have Unicorn Fish already in my hand.
Yeah, and I take the shield here. I think Belix.
No,
Or
you
no,
don't.
maybe not. I thought I was about to.
Well, you don't want to
So I
risk me
mean,
having the
there's
fish
yeah,
or the
absolutely, and
Paladin.
I think that's where that conversation went because I think in a perfect world I would want to let that go through, take the free shield,
Yep.
see if it's a trigger, see if it's something I can use, and then let Belix kind of hold the fort for the next couple of turns because since Bull Razor is the only card that can get through safely. But you have a perfect follow up to me not really having a play on turn 3, which is the double 2-drop.
Yeah, no play on turn three is a little bit crazy,
Yeah,
you know? Maybe
yeah,
not. I mean,
and
we did
basically,
take the Crimson Hammers out of Foul, so it is a little bit weaker in the early game, but it does have Burst Shot now in the shields that it can get.
yeah, and that's what we're banking on here. So, and your goal is to play around pit and burst shots. So, you start swinging, yeah, pyro to avoid the pit since that's the more likely
Yeah.
thing to happen essentially, and then start swinging with the things that are weak to burst shot after that.
Yeah, because I know a pit. I really want to get Pyrofighter back to my hand at the end of the turn, and
Yeah,
now it's
and
going to
again,
be
just
there.
banking on burst shot, which if I have it in hand, great, because I can now clear board, which is the point of that soul swap there, and I do. So, um,
Yeah,
yeah, so
like
soul
that.
swap worked out. Yeah, cleared a bull razor, so I could burst shot out of hand the following turn.
Yep,
And with one
and
shield left, I'm not feeling great.
yeah,
You
I
can just
don't
kind of pick
have.
the 2-drop to follow it up, but
I need to just
Phal
keep
doesn't.
my pedal to the metal
Yeah,
here. I can't. I have nothing sticky that I could play along with the pyro. You just don't have an answer to the pyrofighter. Wait, okay. So this
yeah.
was. I remember this. So
Oh
you
yeah,
spread. Say
yeah,
you
yeah.
have no answer to the pyro, and you spread your hand. There's a lost soul in it. So we are gonna keep going. Carl has a lost
Yeah.
soul.
Yeah, so because I think the original assumption was Phal doesn't have any other blockers, which is hilarious that you top deck the fast attacker, but it
Yeah,
is
yeah,
what it
yeah.
is. Speed attacker. Shut up. I'll get it right.
So that was 1.5 time speed. What happened was I broke the last shield, had nothing to play along with Pyro. Carl thought he had to concede, realized lost souls in his hand to discard what looked like 2 Pyrofighters in my hand, giving him a fighting chance in the game if I didn't top deck immediately a Rikaboo the Dismantler.
Yeah. Phal can answer cards on board that aren't fast essentially because as long as I have a shield, I'm not dead to a speed attacker. But the other side of that is that Phal is only playing to Belix. Doesn't have any other blockers, doesn't have any support on board, uh, protect against anything coming fast.
Mhm.
So
If you're building
that's
this deck
that's
at
essential.
home and you have more than 40 cards, especially, maybe play some Juliana, maybe play a
Cool.
Texquito, a Fire Nature Rush
Yep.
is a problem. Get those Gantas
Yep.
out of there. A lot of
Yeah.
options.
Season one saw a few Skeeto, a few Belix, which was very very good.
Yep. And now
But
you're
yeah,
on the
this
play.
yeah yeah Foul goes down early. That card's not going to be super relevant until turns 7 through 10, more than likely, and we're not banking on getting there yet. So uh,
At least to make up for the fact that I'm not on the play, I do have the Deadly Fighter Braid Claw this time.
yeah,
Lovely. And this deck is full of 2-drops, so chances are I've got a follow up too. Kook.
and
Not
Kook,
the
yeah,
best follow up in this matchup because it dies to the burst shot, which you have shield 1.
yeah, love to see it, love to see it. That makes me feel good. And after Bronze Arm Tribe, I think I'm holding the Sky Swords, so things are looking up for Foul in game two.
Yeah, that really, I
Already.
mean, it really does make it, a good point to the various 2-drops in the deck. Like we saw Kook Palon be absolutely backbreaking against Wave Strikers, but against the deck with things like Belix and Power Base removal, you'd rather play Snip Striker Bull Razor. So just knowing which of your seemingly interchangeable cards on curve are better in different matchups is very important for Rush.
Absolutely. Did Sky Sword hit another Terrapit? That just still on brand here. Oh, and another shield trigger. That's great. Love to see it. Love to see
Yeah.
it. Things are breaking Fowl's way. But
Yeah, that Paladin
again,
was my
because
last card, so
yeah, yeah. So we've got CVH in top deck mode now. So Foul should hopefully be able to quote unquote take control from here. Every pun intended. Yeah. Sky Sword continues to just ramp,
mhm.
and we're just trying to build a board here so we can start swinging in on them. And that Bull Razor is not going to do much in
Yeah,
this
for a
predicament.
brief second I thought, why didn't I attack there? It's 3,000. Oh yeah, Bull Razor has an effect, and it says I'm probably never attacking with it again this game.
Yeah,
For
as
those of
long
you
as
who
I
don't
can.
know, you have to have the same or more creatures than your opponent, otherwise it cannot attack.
Yeah, yeah,
And this was
that's
a
it.
power
Um,
turn for you with that Bull Medius and Forbos.
yeah, absolutely. And part of me even wants to think about breaking a shield here just to
Don't
try to
do
go
it.
for game the next turn. But
You're crazy.
I am not in a rush. More puns intended. Forbos grabs Terrapit. Well, maybe not. Dimension Gate. That's cool. I
Why
guess
not? Yeah.
Dimension Gate can grab the other Sky Sword if
Yeah,
things happen to go poorly for me.
I think you just want
Um,
to show off double Forbos next turn, honestly.
yeah, I mean your out here is just to race the volley, right? If you keep drawing bounce, then
If I
uh,
had a creature that could attack, yes.
yeah. Well, that's the thing is Unicorn Fish can just continue to bounce Bomidius and saying you top deck two in a row. That could put Foul Control in another weird spot, but
Yeah,
you
but I
didn't have
mean,
it, so
yeah.
I'm not worried. Yeah, very far ahead at this point. So we're just watching Foul kind of flex out at this point.
Yeah, and fish is very fragile. I mean, you can always take a turn. Like if Bali was balanced and you were actually concerned and didn't have 4 shields, you could always just wait a turn to replay it and just kill my stuff.
Yeah,
Not an
absolutely.
issue for your deck at all at this stage of the game. So Dimension Gate is
Absolutely.
searching Belix. I like that. You know, it gives you more removal and it gives you a blocker on board just in case you were at all concerned, which I don't think I would be in your shoes here.
Nope. Grab swap. Swap out your blocker, just to be silly, and
I think you
yeah,
tapped
continue to
a
break shield.
nature and fire mana for that Belix, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. That's really
Did
funny.
I?
I don't know. I think so, but you had light untapped. You were all good. Everything was
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
you could have even waited
Go
a
back
million
and
more
check that.
turns. Like if this was the
I
version
could
of
have.
Waterfire with
So
surfers.
right. So, he was down 2 spiral gates, thanks to the Bolminius breaks. I had 3 creatures that could swing on board, so there was no answer and there was no penalty for breaking that last shield. So that was the reasoning there. So you just break the last shield because his best answer is going to bounce 1 card, and I still get to go through for game. So literally couldn't die that turn, or literally couldn't stop me from winning that turn
Yep.
once. So yeah, Foul and Fire Water, one and one, and you are just slamming the deck together. Look at you go.
Yeah, I think this is when we were actually talking about like different shuffle techniques, and I was trying to
Oh
imitate
yeah.
one dispenser. We all like that nice waterfall shuffle, but
It feels
you're
feels
doing
good,
that in the
looks good.
tournament.
Yeah.
You got to watch out. You know, keep your deck a little bit more horizontal so people don't think you're looking at
Yeah,
the bottom there.
absolutely. Like the savage I am.
Yeah,
Some might say. Yeah.
your hand looks pretty
Foul.
expensive from this angle.
Sure did. Um, Firewater Rush on the play again. We'll see if you have a 1 drop, which you don't. So that's a blessing.
Yeah, and mana fixing early, and I've got to have at least a 2. I do. I have the
Yeah.
arguably the best one there.
Yeah. Part of me. So I have Bronze Arm Tribe in hand. I think there could have been probably waiting this turn would have been the appropriate time to put that Sky Sword down, just in case I saw other nature mana the second turn, since
Eh,
I knew I wasn't going to have the 2. But the other side of that was banking on drawing the Belix, so
yeah, I
that's the
like that.
thought process there. Yeah. So
You're probably gonna be able
uh,
to find more Sky Swords. Yeah,
you wanna roll quote unquote high, and Dimension Gate helps me get there. I think actually
yeah.
it's
You can find another Sky Sword if you want. You can go Bronze Arm Sky Sword into
yeah,
that Apocalypse Vice that was in your hand and pray that that is
yeah,
enough of a good curve.
and that's I think not the play.
Hmm. See how it goes.
Yeah,
I mean, you're definitely not playing Belix this turn. I think
maybe
it always has to be
no,
Bronze
yeah.
Arm.
So yeah, I think I have to go Sky Sword here because I'm banking on. At this point, I'm playing the Bronze Arm Tribe next turn. I think that has to be the play. Sky
Mhm.
Sword then has to keep me alive for the turn so I can APOC and mount some sort of comeback.
What did you
I
search
don't
for?
know what. Good question. What did I search for?
You did
Did
search.
I not show the class?
No, I'm
Why did
sure
I
it was
not show the
something.
class?
You wouldn't have not searched. Oh, I think you just tried to show it.
I
I think
think
it was Belix.
I think I grabbed the Belix. Yeah,
What are we thinking about?
interesting.
Was this? I'm not sure. If only I knew. I'm looking at my phone now. It must be relevant to the conversation. Oh, are you asking me how many cards are in your hand? Because we're trying to see if you actually did search.
If I did search and or draw that turn,
Okay, what time of night was this?
God knows.
I'm doing that thing that I do when I count. I can see my finger. Yeah, we're literally debating. Okay, it's happening. The Bronze Arm is
Yeah,
happening. I think you
yeah,
might have
because
actually searched for Belix.
I think I did search for Belix there.
Interesting line. I understand why it's appealing. Given that you have Apocalypse Vice, I think still in your hand, I can understand Sky Sword too. Um, Terra Pit is not bad here. I just played
Therapist,
double
very
two, so I
helpful.
feel like you're kind of forced to hit Hulkus so you don't take another
Yeah,
shield.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, and there's some thought process here too that I could just race the or the bull raiser, but I think
Oh, just like
unfortunately, yeah. So
play
I'm
enough things.
Yeah, so Volcano Charger there, then I get to play Belix, which is
Not bad.
cool,
So here's the thing,
but
though. If you had searched
unfortunately,
Sky Sword, this turn you would definitely take um another shield. Actually, yeah, you might have to have
yeah,
done it the way
I'd
you
be
did
down.
it.
Yeah, I'd be down to 1 shield this turn, and then
You would be
yeah,
setting
even
up for an Apocalypse Vice in that case, though, theoretically.
yep,
And now you can't play Apocalypse. So really hoping to see for you, Mecha Dragon's Breath would kill everything but Unicorn Fish. Um, not a whole lot of other plays that seem very good against this
great.
board.
No, yeah, Foul's in a bad spot here. Um, Felix having to pull back mana was not where I wanted to be, and now I'm just banking on some answer to Bull Razor, whether that's swap, Terror Pit, something, and uh, we don't get there.
There
Bull
we
Razor
go.
takes it.
Yeah.
Um, that is the game.
Yeah.
Uh,
With the Pyro. Pretty close one, honestly. I mean, game 2 really showed the
yeah,
power of the Burst Shot addition to the deck. And Sky Sword obviously doing its thing, and Control just being able to close the game pretty early, even for Control.
yeah, absolutely. And I think you and I are just talking about lines now on whether or not the D Gate should have grabbed Sky Sword or Felix. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, that was a it's tough. Foul playing from behind, not having the blocker support, I think, on board, and Bullraiser showing just how strong it can be, especially early and on curve. A 2 for 3,000 power creature does a lot of damage and is very, very difficult to deal with in the early turns. And that's a
Yeah.
card that just didn't see play at all in season one. So
Did we not
and it
even have it in
showcased.
this deck? I think we had it in.
We
Wait,
did,
we
we
didn't play
did, we had it.
Waterfire Rush in the bracket, right? Was it not even in the bracket? No, it
No,
was.
Waterfire
Okay,
Rush
yeah,
was
yeah,
in the
yeah.
back.
I'm
It
losing my
just it
mind. Yeah,
lost to Deck
yeah,
Lutans, which
yeah, it did.
in theory had a very good matchup against it. So
Yep, but yeah, trading with Belix in a meta where Belix is in virtually every slower light deck, and even some of the aggro ones, is like that's a huge deal for sure.
yeah, yeah, very
Yeah,
ideal.
looking at your hand, which they can't see anymore, but I mean, with the Apocalypse Vice, which I think it depends on if the Apocalypse Vice was there early. I could definitely see where Bronze Arm Sky Sword and pray that APOC gets there on turn 5 is maybe the line, but at that point, you're down to like 0 shields,
Yeah,
and
I think
it's
at
pretty
best I was
uncomfortable.
going to be at 1 shield. Yeah, so and as much as you want to rely on shield triggers, you just can't.
Yeah.
It's not ideally the way you want to play, but sometimes
It
you have
also
to.
does
I
it
mean,
also does show Belix's flaw, which is it sets you back a turn every time you play it. You get the removal you need, but you
yeah,
might never get to the mana where you can really play your bombs.
right. Right, very much so. So yeah, playing the uphill battle in game three, Foul unfortunately couldn't get there, and our second place contender from season one has now been dropped in top 16 to Fire Water Rush, which is preceding our first deck in the top 8 of the
Yeah.
season two bracket tournament.
Bet y'all
So
didn't see that
guys,
one coming.
yeah, no, Fire Water Rush continues to be on a tear, and now for the next couple of weeks, if not several weeks, it'll be a while till we see it again. So.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, guys. Leave a like. Let us know what you think of this match below. And until next time, see ya. Peach.
Each.